All right, take two. You ready? And action.
First of all, Bojo, welcome.
Oh, we started?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming. I'm very excited to have you.
Glad to be here.
We've known each other for a long time.
We have.
And we've only ever worked together in the context of Foley, right?
No, that is absolutely
Lee's?
not true.
Is that not true? Oh, that's right.
Come
That's
on,
right. That's
man.
right. Okay, I'm sorry.
We've done some stuff together.
Yes, we have. We did
in the fashion world.
Yes, we did. We did the
I
fashion.
think that might have been before Foley. It was before Foley.
Way before. Yes, way
Yeah.
before. You're absolutely right. Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
come on
forgot
now.
about
I was
that.
like, oh, wow. Yeah.
Susie. Yeah, Susie.
Yes, shout out to Susie.
Right.
What was that company?
The
Drop.
The Drop.
Yeah,
Yes, the Drop.
I don't think they're around anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they were. Yeah, honestly, it was one of those companies that was doing sort of quote. I learned this. I have a friend who works at a designer shop, and apparently these companies are considered to be fast fashion.
Sure.
That's what we call it, fast
Okay.
fashion. So the Drop was kind of like a fast fashion company, and we worked together.
We worked together?
Yeah.
We definitely did.
Yeah.
You behind the camera, me in front of the camera. That's pretty much what I try to do. Be behind the camera or in front of the camera or behind the mic.
Yeah, man.
But most of the time the camera is in front of me. I'm not behind it. You do the behind the scenes stuff.
I do the behind the scenes
Yes.
stuff. Yeah, I mean,
Or opposites.
so here's the thing though about you, man. You're kind of like a
Okay.
Vegas OG.
You're right.
You're
right.
a very well-known personality in Vegas, whether it's on the airwaves or whether it's in the biggest sporting events that we can, that people can attend.
Sure.
So first of all, how's that feel, man? How'd you get there, man? How'd you do that?
Okay.
That's what I want to know. How'd you do that?
You're right. I'm a Vegas OG.
Yeah.
And that's why I got there. Been in the game for a long time.
Yeah.
And, I got to Vegas in the late 90s, went to UNLV, did my
Was it
thing
the late
there.
90s? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
How old were you at that
Yeah,
time?
like
You don't have
21.
to reveal your. Okay.
Like,
okay.
I was young.
Well, you are
Yeah.
extremely.
Yeah,
you are an
bro.
extremely youthful person.
Yes.
I will just
Young.
give you that
Yes,
right off the
yes,
gate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't have to go out there. Yeah, young in the face, old in the knees and the shoulders and the back, all that. But
Yeah,
I've been in the
man.
game for a long time, man. I came out here, UNLV back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
and I grew at the city.
Yeah.
I knew I was playing soccer. I came here on a soccer scholarship. I
Really?
don't know if you knew that. Yeah.
No way. No, I did not know
Yeah,
that.
I'm a soccer dude. So at that time, it was like finishing up, and my end game was like, am I going to be a professional soccer player?
Yeah.
Back then, they didn't have anything like the lights, and that was kind of on the level I was at, like the, kind of more on the semi-pro. I had the opportunity to play like semi-pro in Utah.
Yeah.
Right when I finished school, and I was like, it wasn't going to pay much. They were going to pay for my room and board. I'm like, but I'm like, what? I'm like, I knew I'm not a corporate dude. I
Yeah.
knew I wasn't going to have a 9 to 5, and I got a communications degree, and that's when I said, okay, I have an opportunity to get into radio. I got an internship at a radio station, and I always had passion for radio. I always wanted to go that direction. I didn't know if it was going to happen or not. It worked out for me. Radio station back in like 2003 called V108. Started late nights. So I got to learn a lot during the early morning.
Yeah.
And I was able to give me room to make those mistakes and find my voice. And from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. I think I was on for one summer. And then that went to
That's
weekends.
tough, huh?
Yeah.
That's tough.
It's
an adjustment.
It's 100%.
Yeah.
But just being on air was dope. And then the fact that I still had people listening.
Yeah.
Normal cities, no one's listening at that time. But back then, I had my friends leaving the club. You know what I mean? Bojo, shout me out while we're leaving the club.
Yeah.
Like shout out to the homie.
Would they call into the show, or they just shoot you a
'cause,
text or
playing
something?
the music. Yeah. And I give them that shout out. Shout outs still go a long way.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
So went from there. To make a long story short, just progressed in the game. Went from late nights to weekends, nights and weekends for years. I went from working Friday, Saturday, Sundays on the air plus working other jobs like in the service industry, and then also working overnights, 11 p.m. to 5 a.m., like Monday through Thursday on the
Damn, man,
radio, bro.
You were busy.
Yeah,
huh?
so I'd be working,
Were you also doing installations and stuff too? Like
that?
that's not the right term. Like Toyota's having a thing, and then
Oh yeah, that's part of it.
like,
Remotes.
Yeah,
Like,
remotes.
Yes. So yeah, I'm doing all that. Yeah, on the weekends as well.
Yeah.
Or at car dealerships. Back then, it was a lot of like phone stores. T-Mobile, AT&T, stuff like that. Get a new. So I did that for years, bro. And then I did that at like 98.5 KLUC. And then 2016, after years of grinding, late nights, overnights, and weekends, I was like the weekend guy for a long time. It worked out with my personality and my vibe. Like I'm Bojo on the radio on the weekends, and
Energy, bringing energy.
And so I'd be on at like maybe like 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. and then I go out and party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, we just heard you, and now but then finally 2016 got a big break where the radio station I'm at now, it was just starting, and they said we need somebody to be the face of this station. Bojo, I know you've been grinding here, 98.5 KLUC. This is a throwback station. We feel like you'd be perfect. I'm like, let's go.
That's
Everything
huge, man.
Just fell in line. That year, 2016 was one of the biggest years of my life. I'll never forget. I got that full-time job, afternoon drive. Doesn't get any better than that. My radio station doesn't have a morning show, so afternoon drive, it doesn't get any better. You know what I mean? I'm rocking with people, on their way home from work, picking up the kids, it's dope. And then that same year, bought a house, had my first child. It was just such a big year. And then it just...
That's great.
And then opportunities
so cool.
just open up itself. And that's just the radio side, bro.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just talking about radio, and we didn't even get into, the event side that's also propelled my career.
Yeah.
So,
as far I have a little bit of insight into radio, not obviously not to the level that you do, but would you say that radio is something that you kind of have to make work? Like so I'll just explain. My view of it is like, if you're going to, if you could even be the face of a radio show, and if that's all you're going to do, like, you'll be successful and you'll do your thing, but like, you're not going to become a Bojo unless you're like really making it work, right? Like, you're using it to your advantage and you're leveraging it, right? And like, or is that like off base?
No, I think you're right there. I'm not gonna. I love radio.
Yeah.
I love radio. Radio's made some mistakes. They've made some mistakes. Radio personalities should have been the original influencers. You feel me?
Yes, I do.
They should have been the original influencers. But unfortunately, radio didn't collaborate as much with social media as they should have.
But there's a lot of industries that did that same
dropped
thing.
that ball.
Yeah. Yes.
But this point in time in the game, if someone came up to me and was like, Bojo, I've been following your career, I want to do what you're doing, I love radio. I promise you I do. And it's always been a big passion of mine. But I don't see it I don't see it being the only thing.
Yeah.
I think there was a point in time that could be it. I can just be a radio personality and that's it. But now, successful radio personalities, you see it. They're doing more. You have to. The Seacrests, the Nick Cannons, even the ones in town, Mercedes, Chet Buchanan.
Yes.
They're not. It's just, you're not just a radio personality anymore. You have to branch out and do more. And so, to answer your question, I think you were trying to ask, like, I would suggest you can't just plan on having one hat and just being radio. That's it. Nope. And that's not the route I took, obviously, since we worked together.
Yeah.
But here's the deal with the radio. you know, obviously it's not the same as it was when I fell in love with radio back in the 90s as a young buck, you know, where radio personalities and radio jocks, radio talents used to be just as popular in some cases, in some, you know, markets as some of the, you know, the musicians or artists.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore because there's just so many different avenues and platforms for people to get their music or just their audio, period. But radio is definitely still essential. You know what I mean? It's not going anywhere. It's still very essential. You still have those, you know, they call them P1s who are going to listen regardless. And it's just, you know, here's the deal. You know, people listen to, you know, their Spotify's and their Apple Musics and whatever. You can't listen to those and find out what's going on in your city locally. You can't listen to those and win tickets to see Usher. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
But you can
Absolutely.
when you listen to my radio show, you feel me?
Yes.
So there's that kind of stuff that, you know, that live and local, that radio will always have, that is going to have the advantage over your streaming platforms, basically.
Even social, right? I mean, you know, there's, of course, you can do giveaways and things like that in social, but it's not live.
It's not live.
Yeah.
And I think the other aspect that I embrace is the local, the live and the local. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's a big part of my radio show. I'm talking about, you know, all these teams on my shirt and the aces and everything that's going on in the city, you know, and that's what people want to know. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So, all right. And we can, if we don't want to like reveal this, we can cut this part
let's
out.
See
but
where you're going,
we
bro.
can cut this part out if we don't want to reveal this, but you are a Robert.
Yes.
And so am I.
Yes.
So, and you have to excuse me if you've been asked this 100 times, but what is the origin of Bojo?
That's a legit question. I'm totally open to that. Probably made me nervous. This is what. Yeah.
Will make you nervous, man? We're not gonna put you.
Okay,
we're not gonna grill you here.
I didn't know that you didn't know about this.
No, I didn't know.
Okay, so hope your audience is learning something too here.
Yeah.
So my real name is Robert Joseph.
Yeah.
My dad is a Joseph, and mom and dad wanted me to have a tie to my dad's name, and said, short for Robert is Bob. Joseph is Joe. Bojo.
Oh, I love that.
That simple.
Okay, yeah.
And this is a mom and dad thing. This isn't my thing.
Yeah.
And Bojo has been stuck with me my whole life. And my mom, I just told this story the other day. My mom forgot I was Robert. She's like, "Oh, who's Robert?" I'm like,
That's
"Mom,
right.
that's me."
Yeah, that's right.
I'm like, "Mom, you're the one."
My son.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, you know, she calls me Bojo or Bo.
Yeah.
And anyone who knows me, you're calling me Bojo or Bo or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And if you're calling me Robert, you're, you know, probably a debt collector or a judge, the police, something like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you know me, I'm Bojo. So I just broke it down for you, Rob. So now you know.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, now we know.
You missed the joke. You weren't paying attention. I said, if you call me Robert, you're a debt collector, the police, or the judge.
Someone
Okay,
with your straight up government. Yeah, but I don't know if that's a slang term out here. But back home, it was like if you called somebody by their full name, it was like that. Hey man, don't use my government,
yes,
bro.
The government,
you know?
yeah. But there's a time and place for it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's pretty. You know, I think it goes without saying that you have a great voice. You have a great speaking voice. What? I suppose in terms of delivery and just the technique of speaking, whether it's hosting or on the radio, like are there some keys that you can share with people, you know?
It's a great question. It's just, for me, like we said it, I'm an OG. You know, I've been talking behind a mic for a very long time. You know, got in the radio game, man, probably 2001, you know, and then got real serious about it in 2003. So we're looking over 20 years. So basically just repetition, and getting comfortable with my voice.
Okay.
I'm so comfortable with my voice. I'm so comfortable with my voice in a microphone, especially when I hear back in the headphones or hear it back in the monitor or hear it back in my IFBs that when I hear myself, like if I was ever nervous, I'm not. If I'll step into a situation and it's like I'm a little anxious, I'll start talking and I'm like, okay, I'm where I need to be. There's the voice because I know what my voice can do. I know that my voice will pierce through and engage people. So there's a little bit of just becoming so comfortable by just repetition, and just, doing it over and over again. But I mean, I don't know. I have a unique voice and I think that has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But me just being so comfortable with it and confident with my voice, it's helped me out so much. You know what I mean?
Isn't that so funny, man? No matter how experienced you are, I love that you said that. Even now, sometimes beforehand, you'll feel nervous or
Sure.
anxious.
Yeah.
I'm the same way, man. I get to a Knights game or something like that. That's a really big deal.
Yeah.
Or even it's something low key if I haven't met the client yet or something.
Sure.
But then as soon as I'm behind the camera,
You're back.
yeah. Isn't it funny? No matter how long you're in the
Sure.
game, you still get that.
But I think there is a little bit of you've been in the game for enough to where you're like, this is my happy place.
Yeah.
This is where I know I'm great or, comfortable or good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're like, or maybe just at ease.
Yeah.
Because you've been doing it long enough. You know what I mean? And you've been in situations, I know you have, where people have given you praise for what you do. And so you're like, okay, hearing that and knowing what you're doing is working out, just getting that feedback back.
Yeah.
Puts you at ease. Like, okay.
Even that is nerve-wracking, though, man. I mean, I don't want to paint myself as like this nervous wreck because I am not. But even like getting praise is like, man, like, am I earning that? Know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. It's like, I think everybody goes through a little bit of an imposter syndrome type deal, even if you're experienced. But I do love that you said like once you're locked in and you can hear yourself and you're in, it fades away because I feel the same way. As soon as I'm behind the camera and we're rocking, we're going, it's like you're not thinking about anything.
But here's the deal. Also, I think that it's I mean, you can hear praise from anybody, whatever.
Right.
But I think there's certain I think it's the people maybe in your industry or your superiors or management or something like that. When you get it back from them, that feedback that's positive, that's when it's like, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can get praise from anywhere and you deal with that how you want to deal with it. But there's certain people or, that it affects you a little bit more to make you realize what you're doing is the right thing.
So if it's okay, I'd like to ask you a personal question. Okay. You are married.
Yes.
And you are busy, right? Like
busy.
Yeah. So does that, is there a secret or a, maybe not a secret, but what is it that helps for you to maintain, to, keep your relationship in good standing and like a work-life balance,
Yeah, it's a good question. Well, luckily I have a lovely wife who has always, we've been together for years and she's always had my back throughout my career. And she's been there, when I was struggling and striving.
Yeah.
And obviously now she's been with me while there's, while there's, you could say my career is thriving and still going, not even close to where I want to be, but, a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, man.
And so there's a lot of that support and, and she knows, my goals. And so she definitely has my back. I'm like, cause I work a lot. Yeah. I do. There was a point in time where, I knew if I wanted to be where I want to be and be successful and to make the earnings financially, I might not say no right now.
Yeah.
you know,
Of
and that was a
course,
little bit
man.
early in my career. And I knew in my, way of thinking at that time was more eyes on me
Mhm.
and more opportunity for, others to see my talent so I can continue making money and making more money and getting bigger gigs. And that worked to where now I might not have to work as much, but obviously, yesterday's price isn't today's price. I'm
Yeah,
able to
man.
work bigger gigs and I have bigger opportunities. But ultimately, though, man, I'm married, 2 kids. I take my kids to school every day. I tuck them in every night. You know what I mean? So lucky, and there's another thing where I don't have a crazy 9 to 5. I told you, I'm on the radio. My radio show's 2 to 7. You know what I'm saying? So as much as it seems like I'm working, my full-time job is 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then I have, the events, multiple, nights a week. But there's still a pretty good balance that I have with my work and family life. You know what I mean? I don't feel like my kids are always like, oh, daddy's never home. It's not really like that because,
Yeah.
I do have all that time in the day, to take care of them and spend time with them. So, I mean, it's not a traditional lifestyle,
Yeah.
but it is for me, especially if you're in this sports entertainment or just entertainment game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, obviously, to answer your question is just thank God my wife supports, my dreams, and my goal is to keep on working this hard so she doesn't have to. You know what I mean? So.
I love that, man. I love
Yeah.
that. I love so many great quotes in there.
Oh, really?
More eyes on me. The fact that you're, I mean, taking the kids to school every day and
Yeah.
tucking them in at night.
Yeah.
So many people can't do that. And especially someone who is as busy as you
Yeah.
are, to be able to do that, that's really cool,
Yeah.
man. I love that for you.
Yeah.
Love that for you.
Thank you.
So,
Appreciate that.
yeah, man, of course. So, do you have a favorite movie?
Okay, I think the word of this conversation is going to be I'm OG,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I've had my top 5 favorite movies that have lasted for like 20 years now. You ready to hear this?
Yeah,
You ready to
please.
hear it? Okay.
Absolutely.
Shawshank Redemption,
Okay, classic.
Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire, good choice.
Jerry Maguire
You
got
already-
that sports little comedy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I love Gladiator.
Gladiator, of course.
Where else am I going with this? There was, I'm going to stick with those two, but you understand how
Yeah.
those are throwbacks, bro.
They are throwbacks.
I didn't say anything like in the 2010s.
Yeah, no. It's very, very diverse choices too.
Yeah,
Diverse
man.
choices.
There's a little bit of something. You
Yeah.
get something out of those.
Yeah, you got
know
like
what I'm saying?
yeah,
I
you
need
got
a
like
movie
the
that's gonna make me think, or and keep me inspired, or keep
Yeah.
me motivated,
Mhm.
make me laugh, make me cry. So yeah, those 3 are probably my top 3.
Yeah, it's good. I like those choices. Shawshank is like a very almost like a folk tale sort
Right.
of style of movie,
Yeah.
and then you got Jerry Maguire, which is a feel good. Like thinking of it, it is an old movie, but it feels even especially now with how prominent sports is in social
Sure.
media and the news. It's
Yeah.
like it almost feels like a modern sort of
I wonder if can they remake Jerry Maguire?
I mean, I would not be surprised. Don't voice that.
Because
Don't put that into the
might have
universe.
Jerry Maguire might have came out in '97, bro.
I'll tell you what. Tom Cruise would absolutely. I mean, they just did a Top Gun sequel. I'm sure
You're right.
he would
You're
jump
right.
in there and do a Jerry
We'll
Maguire
see.
too. He's like a washed-up agent.
You
He's
know
got to
what I
come
mean?
back.
No.
It's like Cuba Gooding's son.
No, they'll get new people. Remember how they just did White Man Can't Jump?
Did they redo that?
They redid
Oh, I
it,
did
bro.
not know that. I did not.
Yes.
Know that. Oh my God. What is that on Paramount Plus or something like that?
I think it might have been on Amazon, but
Okay.
yeah, they did that.
All right. So we talked a lot about radio, and I love
Okay.
that. So you are on camera very frequently in front of,
Sure.
I mean, upwards and sometimes over 18,000 fans.
crazy.
And we talked about a little anxiety and stuff like that, so we don't have to go too far back into that. But is that like, what's that feel like, man? You know,
That's another good question, and it happens. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think it's wild. I think T-Mobile, it's Knights games, bro. Those fans are so intense because I've been in front of like 60 in Allegiant, and I don't know, some reason it's different. I can just push that all out and, you know, in front of the 60 in Allegiant, but something about the 18 and T-Mobile, I don't know. I think because maybe they're on top of you, but
true, yes,
yeah, I think they're right on top of you.
Yeah,
but it's just a little bit of, you know, anxiousness. But what saves that is what I told you about. Once I get going, I get comfortable. You know what I mean? I'm hearing myself. I'm like, I got this.
Yeah.
But then the next thing for me is preparation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I make sure I'm prepared. And then, you know, anyone I'm working with, they know I ask a lot of questions because I just want to make sure I'm prepared for this. Because if I'm prepared and I understand what I'm going to be talking about or going to be, you know, performing, I'm going to execute. You know what I mean? So just making sure I'm prepared, I'm going to execute, and a lot of that anxiety will go away.
Yeah.
Or I won't even have it at all. You know, I think if you want me to be honest with you, the anxiety can happen if you're doing something new. If you're in my situation, I think it's for anyone. You know what I mean? Like, for example, we're in the Fortress, you know, Knights game, and we're doing something like that Enterprise, what is it called again? One of the games that we do all the time. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
I'm not, there's no nervousness going on. We do that all the time, the Five Prize Frenzy or the BetMGM High-Low or whatever. We do that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Bojo, we're gonna have a new game today. We're doing this. We're going to need you to introduce this people, this client, and this and that. That's when it's like, oh, I haven't done this one before.
Mm-hmm.
There might be a little nervousness going on, but then once I start flowing, okay, I'm okay. But also, if I'm prepared for it, then I should be okay. If that makes sense.
So when you moved to Vegas, did you could you ever have pictured yourself as a Stanley Cup finals champion? Which you are that.
Yeah. Yes. No. No.
Right?
Yeah. When they said, "Hey, you're getting a ring," I was like, "What?"
Yeah, man.
What?
So cool.
I mean, that entire season was just amazing, as you know.
Magic, man.
Yeah, and like just going through that is just so special, you know. And it's a testament to the cast and the team that we work with. Obviously, the Golden Knights, the players, but I'm talking about behind the scenes, the entertainment, and everybody who works in all the different departments behind the scene. Man, just all really dope people, and you've had an opportunity to talk with them and work with them. They sit on this couch. I've seen it on the podcast, and it's just great people, and it, you're like, damn, like I have no choice but to up my game, you know, to be on everybody else's level. So it was a special season for sure. And when, you know, getting a Stanley Cup ring, just topping it off, like, you know, that's just proof for the rest of my life.
Yeah, man, that's so dope. I love that.
Yeah, super dope.
That's what I tell people when I invite them to come on, if they're like a little wary about it. I'm like, listen, if we want to fucking sit here and talk about tacos for a half hour, I don't care. You know, it's like I just want to shine a light on and let people see a little bit behind the scenes, or you know,
sure,
because we don't get a chance to really express ourselves. We are the people that help others express themselves. You know,
yeah, definitely. We don't get to talk about like what the preparation that goes into it all.
Right. What's going on with us and the you know, the work and the culture, you know, production is great, man. It's super fun. The events, radio is great. You know, I spent a lot of time, you know, I was Nudia's content guy for years, man.
Was it years?
Years, yes. Me and Nudia were like this, bro. We never went. She never went anywhere without me. I always was behind her with my camera. You know, Nudia, bro. I owe so much to Cali Cat and Nudia. Like they really are my like straight up heroes. Like I was nobody, and no one knew who I was, and
that just gave you
I
like
had
an opportunity, right?
Bro, I had no credibility. I had not done anything of any. I didn't know anyone here, and I just happened to reach out.
Where did you come from?
From New York, from Long Island, New York. I've been
How's
here.
that, bro? That's a
Big
is
change.
it culture shock?
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, big culture shock. We don't have to get into that. It was, but yeah, I was.
When'd you get out here?
I mean, I went through a little bit of a depression, man. Like,
how long you been out here now?
About 10 years. Yeah, it was a difficult change, man. You know,
You're gonna have to give me some tips. I'm doing a gig hosting some women's basketball games in Brooklyn, Barclays Center in December.
For Liberty or
No. It's college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, college basketball.
Oh,
Women's
nice,
college basketball.
man. That's dope.
Yeah,
That's dope.
it's
so cool.
Four major schools. I think like UConn and Tennessee should be dope. Barclays Center. Never done anything there. That's gonna be amazing. I haven't been in New York in like 15 years. So you might have to let me know some spots.
Well, you'll get there and you'll instantly remember the traffic. You'll instantly remember how fast everybody wants to walk, how narrow I don't know. You're going to be doing much driving there. But
is my energy going to be all right out there?
Hell yeah, man. You're going to fucking kill it.
Okay, good.
Listen, I'll tell you right now. If growing up and still, as far as I'm aware, still to this day, when you're from the West Coast and you get to New York, people from New York love West Coast people.
Oh, word?
Yes, man.
Oh, I always got the vibe they might be annoyed.
We're a very how do you say? I mean, I shouldn't blanket all New Yorkers, but in my experience, we're a very direct and slightly grouchy people.
Okay.
So when you come with positive energy and you have a very big, powerful aura, man. You come in, the energy changes in the room, and people are gonna absolutely gravitate to that. So you'll do fine, and it's gonna be great. Definitely do not, don't get sucked in by this is yay. All right, well here we go. We're gonna expose it right here. You ready? Fucking. So many pizza places are banking on the fact that they are in New York that are trash pizza. So
they're gonna
ask
try to
around.
Fool me.
Yeah, don't just go like, oh, this is a pizza place where I'm in New York. It must be good. No, ask around.
And everyone's probably gonna say we're the number one pizza joint in New York.
Absolutely. I don't know where you're staying, so I don't have the you got to go here. But ask a local where to get pizza if you're gonna get pizza.
Okay,
that's my number one tip for you.
Okay, all right, we'll make it.
Yeah. So, so a couple more for you. One is, do you have a career nightmare story you could share with us that you overcame, or you imparted a lesson on you, or something like that?
Career nightmare story. Gosh.
And it doesn't have to be even a big saga. It could be like a small snafu that maybe made you go, all right, the light bulb went off and it was maybe tough to overcome. And
I don't know if I should say these things.
Could leave out names and companies.
How do I say this? All right, I can't think of anything real specific. I just know earlier in my career there was the maturity levels. I was so young, having a good time, and I made some mistakes. Maybe I partied. Mm-hmm. I would overlap a little bit too much partying with my work, especially early years in radio.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, especially early years in radio, like a little bit
nervous laughter, sweat beads.
I'm just I'm just thinking about some nightmares. Just like, at least I can say this is like over a decade ago. Just like, there's when you're young and they put you in a nightclub and you're supposed to be on the mic and then you have drinks. And there was I had an era, where I was blending it too much. Or I remember like there was times where I pushed the limit. I would be on air at 8 p.m. on a Saturday, but I would be at rehab pool till 5 p.m. and be like, from like noon to 5, and be like, oh, I'm gonna party all day, but if I do it till 5, it'll give me enough time to rest before I have to be on air at 8, and I'm a disaster on live radio, like, saying things I shouldn't be saying. So, I mean, there was a little bit of, maturity factor. I wish I could give you one, good nightmare story, but I feel like, there was a quick little era and then I had to really get it together. Like, come on, man. You got to be a professional here.
Well, this is what I'll say about that. I mean, everybody experiences a little bit of that, especially when they first get here.
Sure, yeah, that's fair.
And if it doesn't get you, if the city doesn't take you down, I say you've made it. I've
got past that.
Yeah.
You're right. And the crazy thing is now, as an OG, and as a father, if I see someone going through that, I'd be so disappointed with them and let them know, hey man, it's not the route, like nothing wrong with partying, but you can't blend it to on air, come in the studio smelling the way you're smelling, not prepared, stuff like that. Yeah, I would get on them now.
Yeah, no, that's good though. It's good to, especially I would think in that field, that to have someone like you who's been here, who's done it, and then who can give them a heads up. I tell you what, man, it's very funny. It's not quite the same thing, but if I go work, I work a lot of conferences and conventions too. So if it's day one of the conference or convention, I'll be like, you guys, where are you guys from? Have you come here before into town yet? And they'll, if yes, then yes. And if no, I'll be like, listen, don't do it. Don't make the classic mistake. Yeah. Every time, if it's the company's first time or that particular group of people's first time, the first night they go out, they get smashed, and then the second day, one or two people are missing.
The thing is, though, Rob, they've been planning it, and they know they're gonna do it. You tell them it's not going to stop them. And then
no, it won't stop them.
It's not going to stop them. But then afterwards, they're going to be like, damn, I should have listened to
I should have listened to that guy.
I should have listened to that guy.
Yes, man.
You know what I mean?
I just just in good conscience, I'm like, I'll put the word out there, whether they're going to listen or not.
Yeah, be careful.
Don't do it.
And then
you know damn well you got to be back here at 7 a.m.
Exactly.
Just don't do it.
They spent some time at some gentleman's club. Pretty much get robbed, and the next day they're like,
dude. Yeah, man. I mean, stories, like so many stories, but
so many.
Okay, so on the other side of that, is there a career highlight that you would like to share?
Career highlight. Oh man. Career highlight. I mean, I just feel like as time goes on, there's just like, one gig I get just outdoes the next. Gosh, I wish I could think of a career highlight, but it's just so dope. Just the opportunities, I'll get, and it's just, it's tough because the more you work and the harder you work, you outdo yourself. Yeah. So, like, if I'm thinking recently, like just last month, I got to work at an event where I'm opening and working with Gwen Stefani. I'm like, what? Like Southern Cal? That's Gwen.
Sick, man.
It's a
that's
big deal.
Cool. Hell yeah.
Recently, I'm working with Mike Tyson.
No way.
I'm working with Mike Tyson, bro. Yeah, we're on the same team where they book me to endorse the same energy product that he's a spokesman for, and they book me to run the press conference and to run all the questions, and it was important for them, the company, for me to link up with Mike and get to know Mike. So I spend time with Mike, and we're chopping it up like we are right now.
Yeah,
and
that must have been
so
surreal.
Because
yeah, that must have been wild.
You're grown like I am,
yeah.
And growing up, it was the three Mikes. It was Mike Jordan, Michael Jackson, and Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
those guys were on a whole nother level.
Absolutely. I was a teenager in Mike's hay, like when he was in his hay, bro.
And
30-second
Yes,
fights. You know,
exactly.
you be waiting all night. Everybody's gathered around the TV.
Yeah.
The bell ring. Ding, ding, ding.
You know?
Ding.
Exactly.
Like out. Like that
Yes.
fast, bro. Yeah,
So
I remember.
That's some iconic stuff right there. So,
Absolutely.
you know, it's just, I don't know. That's I would have to think about it. But just
Overall, it sounds like overall you're happy, man. That's
I'm
great.
happy, and
That's
it's
really
just
great.
you know I'm doing things and making my family proud, and I want to believe I'm doing it the right way.
Yeah.
You know, the gigs I'm getting, it's because of my hard work. It's because you know, the talent, and it's the way, you know, I think what I try to let other people know, if they ask for me for any advice, you know, like I mentioned to you earlier about how, you know, there was a point in time I could say no now. I don't need to work everything. I wasn't
Right.
saying no because I wanted them to see what I was capable
More
of.
eyes on me.
Yes.
I'm gonna that
Yes.
stuck. That's a
Yes.
sticky
I
one,
wanted
man. You gotta
them
put
to
that on a
see
T-shirt or something,
what
bro.
I was capable of.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do
Mm-hmm.
it. I'll do it. And every time I did these gigs, I treated everybody the same, meaning kind to everybody, whether you're my boss, my show caller, stage manager, everybody the same, right? And just I don't know, that's just where I was raised anyway. Just be cool with everybody.
Yeah.
Dap up everybody. When you
Yeah.
step in the room, say what's up to everybody. The CEO, the manager, or, you know, the water boy.
Yeah.
Say what's up to everybody. And I find out in my career, there's people that are working as the water boy for this organization, but they're also, you know, an assistant manager for another organization. They're like, hey, I work with Bojo over here with the lights, and I know now I'm with Caesars Entertainment, and the energy I got for him was phenomenal. You guys need to hire him here. And it's just those type of relations you make with everybody by just treating everybody the way they should be treated goes so far. Because then there's people in my position who can end up being dicks to people.
Mm.
And they're like, hey, I'm not going to hire that guy, but I'm going to hire Bojo because he's cool with everybody. You know what I mean? And that's just the way I live my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know.
By the way, I will 100% co-sign that. I've been now that I've been at Foley for about over 2 years. We've worked together a lot.
Sure.
And I mean, you're very well loved, man. City loves you. You are always gracious, kind, and you know, and you're just very, very nice to everyone. Fans,
Yeah.
people on the production team.
Sure.
You are always very gracious and kind, and I will 100% co-sign that for you, man. And
Thank you.
Love that about you, brother.
Thank you.
100%.
And
yes.
I think that's just important. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I think
It
maybe
is important. It is.
Yeah, it's
kindness.
important.
It's important.
Yeah, it's
right?
important.
Like,
And
absolutely.
I feel like I figured out like that positivity I can give someone. You know, you never know, it can change their day in a positive way as well.
Yes.
So why the hell not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Why the hell not? In the meantime,
Costs nothing.
yeah, it costs
nothing.
nothing. You know, and I've seen people in the same industry not have that approach for whatever reason, and I'll benefit from it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Yeah. You do that over there.
yeah,
I'll
sure.
be over here.
I'm gonna, you know, and
Yeah.
but I'm not doing it for that. I just do it because that's the right thing to do, and that's what I want to do.
Yes.
That's how I was raised. You know, shout out to my dad, man. That's where I get it from. What's up, Joe?
Shout out to Joe. Peace to Joe.
That's right.
Okay, man. I got one more for you.
Okay.
For young people coming up
Okay.
who maybe aspire to be a radio personality
Okay.
or a host for some of
Okay.
the world's biggest sports teams and sporting events. What would you say to them?
I would just piggyback off of what we just talked about. You just got to treat everybody with respect. I think you have to always be prepared. Once you're prepared, you'll always be able to execute. You know, just make sure you're passionate about what you're doing. I think that's another thing that makes what I do easier, and just because if I'm passionate about the team, I'm passionate about this city, right? You know, because it's given me so much, so it makes it easier for me to work for a lot of these teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm a sports guy at heart. I'm also a music and entertainment guy, so obviously I'm in these genres and where the stuff I'm passionate about. I'm in radio. I play the music I grew up listening to, throwbacks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I work in sports entertainment. I played soccer growing up, and caught soccer, and loved all sports. I love entertainment. We talk about movies, and I'm into all that. So I'm passionate about these things. I'm in that realm. I'm not being dishonest and with myself and working some computer shit or something like that I don't know about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't, maybe I can get myself educated, but I'm getting myself involved in actual things that I'm passionate about. And the more passionate you are about it, the better job you'll do.
Totally agree with that.
But and then I think it's important to just, I never really quit on anything. You know what I mean? If I started, I never quit on anything, and getting those reps, like, for example, I worked like 6 or 7 seasons with the Lights, the soccer team.
Yeah.
And they put me to work as a host. Being a soccer guy, it was dope. It was a phenomenal opportunity for me. It was just like, oh my,
Yeah,
like
you must have loved that.
Like I just talk about, I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
I love soccer.
Yeah.
And now I get to host, do what I do behind the mic and get everybody fired up.
That's really cool.
But they put me to work. One host doing so much, like nonstop, just on the mic, like throughout the game, I'm on the mic. You wouldn't think so, but like throughout the entire game, pregame, halftime, postgame, for 6 seasons. And I got so many reps doing it. You know what I mean? And I learned so much just being on that mic and just, working. So I just think you gotta be a hard worker too.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna come easy. And so basically I'm trying to get at those years working those games for the Lights definitely help propel my career to where any situation given to me, I felt like I could handle, because we're doing so much crazy shit with the Lights. You know what I mean? Shout out to Brett Lashbrook, who got me that gig. He was the CEO and owner, and believed in me. Brett, appreciate you, man. Believed in me. He's like, hey, this is the guy we need, to, be the voice of this team. But
it's like a trial by fire. It's a challenge.
Sure.
And got you into shape right quick.
And don't give up on it, and just keep on going, and know, like, the more you do it, the better you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And I guess I put myself in a lot of those situations to where I never really quit. I just kept going and going and going. And I feel like I still have a lot more to learn. But like I said, I'm an OG to where now I'm so comfortable in pretty much any hosting situation in this city,
I mean, listen, man, at least in the context of the NHL, we have the best show in the league, according to the NHL. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned,
don't forget, bro, we won these awards for all of professional sports, not just NHL.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I did not know that, actually.
Yes, they've won these awards for all professional sports.
Are we talking minor leagues or?
The Golden Knights have won that award for
Stanley Award.
Yes,
for best in-home production or presentation.
But there's another one where they've won it in like
the Emmy was for the banner raising.
But they've won something where they include every sport.
Okay,
NFL,
I didn't even,
NBA,
is it Golden Matrix, right? It's Golden Matrix.
Yes,
Okay,
Golden Matrix. Good stuff. Yeah, there you go.
And so, as far as I'm concerned, with all of that said and done, I mean, you or anybody on that team can go anywhere in the world and be, among the best, which is a beautiful thing.
I think you throw any of the hosts that we work in, just in Foley, entertainment, like anywhere we'll be comfortable, you know. But I got to be honest, there's so much, like, our team is so dope. like when I work events, when it comes to hosting or emceeing outside of Foley, it's a little bit different. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, yeah,
Because we have a stage management.
we don't have to
stage
name names,
management
but I can relate to that. I know
and
exactly
show
what you mean.
calling that is so up to par.
Yeah.
And that has us set up for such great success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have to give props to, everybody behind the scenes of Foley Entertainment for that,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because I'm not always getting set up for success.
Right.
But, but for being experienced and doing it for a while, as long as you ask the right questions, you should be fine, and then, that's not everybody, but Foley Entertainment's really good at that, setting up, not just the host, but everybody for like great success,
Hell yeah, man.
So,
Bojo,
that it?
thank you so much
That
for
it?
coming.
Oh, man, that was
please,
fun.
please share your socials, or if there's anything else you're working on or that you want people to check out, please.
Oh, what just if you're in your car, you got any type of smart speaker, you can listen to me on Q100.5 Odyssey on the Odyssey app. Just download the Odyssey app and listen to Q100 Vegas. I'm on Monday through Friday, 2 to 7 p.m. I'm gonna head to the station just a bit, playing that throwbacks, all that good stuff you used to listen to back in high school.
Hell yeah.
Let me tell you something. That stuff never gets old, by the way.
Hell
During
no,
the
it
pandemic,
doesn't.
we found out that people wanted that comfort music, and that's what we're playing. All that Ja Rule, the 50 Cent, the Eminem, the Mariah, the Boys to Men, all that good stuff. That's
Bro,
what we're
I'm
playing.
listening right now all week. I'm listening to like Mint Condition,
Yes!
Bobby Brown. Like
Yes,
that's the vibe I'm on
bro!
this week.
Yes,
This
that
like past like
90s.
2-3 weeks. I'm
Yes.
like deep in it right now.
Really? So
yeah.
that's my vibe at the radio station I work at Bojo_live on all the socials. Just looking when I'm on the radio, looking forward to being in these arenas, with the Golden Knights, Silver Knights, UNLV football coming up. I got some events working with BD Global. You're gonna be headed to the Bahamas, working some college basketball games. And I told you you're gonna be headed to Brooklyn. But yeah, man, just if anything, just the energy I'm trying to give is positive, and that's if I can, if you get that from me, that's all I want to give, basically. Just positivity, man, in a world that's crazy. That's all I want to give, and positivity and a good time. That's it.
Hell yeah, man. You're succeeding in doing
Thank
that,
you,
man.
bro.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much
that.
for coming
I'm
on
gonna
the
give you
show.
one of these.
Yeah,
I'm
we
gonna
gotta
give you
go. We gotta go.
And I'll
We
edit
gotta
one
do
of
a full
those.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. All right, we did it. Woo!
Hope that was good, bro.
Hell yeah, man. Nah, man. That was awesome. Great episode. Loved it.
Nice.